Good morning. This is Steve Onson from Calvary United Church of Christ in Reading, Pennsylvania, an open and affirming congregation. This is the Wednesday Word. I haven't done one in over a month, but I appreciate this question. And if you have questions, you can send it to me through Facebook or send it to me by email. So today's question comes from a person who I'm going to keep their name private. Asks, how do we get older people near death to stop thinking they are being punished by God? Wonderful question. Thank you. So this friend of mine is in chaplaincy and far more qualified than I am, I think, to answer it. But let me just say that this is a tough one. It isn't it? Because it's a theological problem we have across the board. It's not just older people, it's all people, but let's just focus on that. It has long been my assertion that we do nobody any good if we teach them that their illness or their troubles are caused by God. Furthermore, that they are being punished for something they've done wrong or for a lack of faith. That to me is one of the prime things that is ruining the church in so many ways. So I would say that it's not just bad theology. It's mean-spirited and it's cruel. God is not out to get us. And death is not a failure. I often complain that, unfortunately, that too often the medical model that we follow in this culture and other cultures, I think too, is that if you get sick and you die, that somehow somebody has failed. I mean, sometimes, yeah, I'm not saying that all death is it's tragic, right? But we all eventually watch as our outer body fades away. The Apostle Paul talked about this, that our inner nature is striving for God, but this shell is just here for a period of time. It's not a set time by God. There's no such thing as that. There is no time when you die. That's the fates, right? That's not Christianity. That's the fates. And the problem with that, of course, is if you ask somebody who says, well, it was his time, I ask them, really, do you exercise? Do you not smoke? Do you do things to prolong your life? Why are you doing that if you think it's all going to end at a certain point and it doesn't really matter, right? It's ridiculous when you think of it in those terms. I don't know why people come to this conclusion that somehow God is punishing them. I mean, to me, it's a fairly obvious thing, but all too often I hear this kind of lament from people. Why me, God? Why do bad things happen to good people? These are really important questions, and there's nothing wrong with asking them. But to answer the question, though, I think we all need to do better when it comes to admitting that human existence is tenuous. Life is unpredictable, and life is way too short. But that's why for Christians, eternal life is sort of an answer to that says, I'm not going to live forever here, but I do have something beyond this. If you don't believe that, that's up to you, obviously. But for me, that's my hope. It doesn't mean that this life isn't good. This life is great. But it's hard, and there's pain and suffering. We know that, but there's also joy. So I think it's important to show that there's a balance in how we approach this life we have. To me, the most tragic thing is when I see someone young die who hasn't had a chance to yet live and experience and maybe love someone and have children and grandchildren and travel. And I think there are those tragedies. There's just no answer. And to say otherwise, to say that it's part of God's plan that the person died when they were 10 or a baby or 21 is, again, cruel. If you do that, stop, because that doesn't help anybody. It just makes them feel like God doesn't care. So when I sit with a person who is dying, especially someone who is older, I talk about their life and the victories, the defeats, all the things in their life that they've done. I try to help them remember. The same as a funeral. I try to help people remember the joy as well as experiencing what's sad about it. Then I asked them two questions. The first question is, are you right with God? The second is, are you right with the people you love? I think all of us need to turn away from our own feelings of loss and think about what we're leaving behind. What did we do well? Have we tried at least to apologize for the things we did badly? No person gets out of this life without having hurt somebody. So how do you at least let those folks know that you recognize that you hope they would forgive you, or at least in some sense not blame you? I mean, we're all guilty. But if we fret over dying, if we worry about dying all the time, what does that accomplish? I mean, what does it do for us? It does nothing. I think worry is that way anyway, right? Why Jesus says, why do you worry about this? You can't change the number of hairs on your head, right? They do their own thing. We cannot stop death from happening, but we can make life amazing. Making the most of our life, I think, affirms and lifts up just how wonderful this life is and how wonderful our hope is for the next. So that's all I have for today. What do you think? Send me an email, a message. Let me know if there's a question you're grappling with that you would like me to deal with. It can be anonymous if you'd like. Send them to me and I will do one on a Wednesday Word. So stay safe out there. Wear your mask. Get vaccinated. Please get vaccinated. Wash your hands. And I will see you next time.